What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn, and our first interview for Tech Death Tuesday is Nick from Equipoise. Thank you so much for your time today, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course. It's so awesome to have you here. Demiurgus is your newest record. Do you consider this, for people who may not discovered you, is the first EP kind of like a clear, trailer or preview that you had in the 2016 release, or is Demiurgus like a complete progression and something new?
Yeah, so the EP was actually technically a demo release, so it contains all the tracks that are on the full length, or rather the other way around. There's 5 tracks on it,
Okay.
and they're all included on the album. But we revamped them up and everything, so they're a lot more professional, if you will. You know, they're a lot more cleaned up. It's 2 years of progress, so they're definitely a lot better.
With Equipoise, do you try to experiment as much as possible with your sound, or do you try to maintain a certain formula that applies to all your songs?
I definitely try to experiment. So on the first album, it's a little more complete. Everything's kind of a similar vibe, minus one song. It kind of is a bit different, but we do a lot of flamenco incorporation and stuff like that. We have a lot of just songs that are straight, like flamenco pieces and orchestral pieces and all that. But my next album, I'm working on a lot more jazz fusion-y elements and stuff like that, because I'm really influenced by bands like Chick Corea Electric Band or Al Demiola, just all those guys. So that's the influence I'm trying to draw from now.
Interesting. When it comes to playing your material live, do you try to execute it exactly how people are hearing it on the album, or do you try to maybe make the live presence a little bit different, change things up a little bit?
I try to keep it the same for the most part. It's very hard, so it's I have to, because it's just it requires so much focus to play, honestly. So we try to keep it. We have all the orchestral backtracks going. I have my harmonies for solos in the background. We just make sure there's everything there, so it's the full experience as much as possible.
Oh, that's awesome. When it comes to playing live versus in the studio or a practice space, is it a completely different energy or completely different strategy?
100%. It's definitely, it's kind of more in the moment. A lot of times, so we have the in-ear monitoring systems going on, but a lot of times I kind of dial it back and just try to follow along to the drums. I listen more to the cymbals and kicks and everything, and try to use that to kind of go with the pace. So I always have that click kind of going in my ears. When I'm doing studio stuff, I obviously have a click track going and I'm following that, but in a live setting, I kind of try to flow more with the music if it goes a little off the grid and stuff, because I want us to all be, cohesive.
Okay.
So
When it comes to an inspiration for writing, do you have to put yourself in a certain element in order to get inspired, or does inspiration or idea just sometimes come out of nowhere?
not really. It's just kind of a lot of times I'll just hum or whistle stuff, and I just kind of make up melodies, and I just take it from there. So
Okay.
It's a very just simple process, and a lot of times whatever I'm listening to is kind of going to influence that sound, that sound I'm going for. So
Okay. So it's fair to say that with the writing process, you sometimes have a preconceived idea that you like to work around, right? It's not
For the most part.
there's no improvising.
not really. I won't sit there and just jam riffs out or anything, but it happens sometimes. It happened once recently. I was just kind of playing around. My friend had a keyboard, and I started writing out a melody, and then I transposed it to guitar, and then took it from there. But other than that, I usually just kind of, go with the flow on it, and that's about it.
Interesting. And now you have Hugo from Beyond Creation playing with you. Is he a full-time member of the band? Or okay.
He's actually, I think he was the first person that joined. So that was back in 2015.
Oh wow.
I saw Beyond Creation in May of 2015, and I was just really impressed by him.
Was it Summer Slaughter?
No, it was in Akron.
Okay.
It was just a couple off days with Reaping Asmodia. But I saw him, and I was just really impressed by his playing. And I started writing music a little bit in that summer, and then I just hit him up because I knew I wanted a fretless basis. I tried getting the band started in the local scene, but I wasn't really having much luck because out in Pittsburgh, it's not really big on tech death. So I just hit up Hugo, and I was like, hey, man, do you want to do bass for us? And he was down, so that's kind of how I progressed from there.
I'd imagine that him coming from Beyond Creation, that he may have also, because I know you said you wanted a fretless bass, but he definitely has to bring some new ideas to the table and experimentation, right?
100%. I mean, I composed the bass lines for the album, but he definitely put his own spin on it, and it definitely was welcomed, It brought a good fifth element, if you will, to the music.
Awesome.
It was nice. Definitely some added dimensionality.
Awesome. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Is there just anything else with Equipoise that you would like to promote in terms of some tours, shows, maybe possibly new music?
We have something we just confirmed in January,
Okay.
and then we're trying to get something in Europe going next year. Nothing in the works, or nothing kind of solidified yet, but we've been talking to a few bands, so we're trying to get something big kind of going. We'll see.
Awesome.
Hopefully.
Well, thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Everybody, we are here with Nick of Equipoise. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.